Good morning, and once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. The name is Ivan Che Innocent One, and on Facebook is the same. On Twitter is the same, and if you go on other platforms too, you bet me I get interactive. And welcome to. And I think there has been a number of issues, and I may not start here. And I was telling you about what is happening in the economic space. The fact is we've been able to restructure our debt, both domestic and with our bilateral creditors, as well as Eurobond holders. There seem to be some kind of our finance minister and other top functionaries within this government seem to be in a mood as a bag victory be a and the question that may be saying and say restructuring this debt push no, we will come back one day and pay this debt and that is the question and and I also walk you through the colonial mentality as still the current political leadership agency the need to let go but greed and selfish tendencies away your back for nya to me na or either a judge government official, apart from the salary, per diem allowances, including clothing allowances, security, cook, wine, the PP, so that mentality clearly we are not ready to ensure our country will grow. And I told you about a number of interventions I bet me set it up as a country, bet me change your story of mine. I was telling you about industrialization drive, how I bet me set factories, real factories, not spiritual and as a how do you call it? Abstract way exist like Akufo-Addo promised the people of this country. Setting up these factories across the length and breadth of this country could be a game changer. Either my young people any access to work on the year. Aside that, the amount of money is so better. I also talk to you about the banking sector and then near my echo. So and about this conversation. So, but to a certain level, and then one thing that maybe the cross has to do with development I course within our judiciary. Our President Akufo-Addo making effort to appoint about 4 new judges into the Supreme Court. Already, we've been telling you, our Supreme Court is bloated, considering the number of appointments Akufo-Addo into the judiciary. Public confidence within the institution, has waned considerably, and we expect going forward, public trust our institution will be reinstated and will be reaffirmed. But Akufo-Addo, as always, he doesn't seem to care about all these things. Makacho said this is a manner. I don't know the kind of mentality in the psyche a driver in the way manner he does his things. Apart from impunity, you see arrogance, you see I don't care spirit to be winning because over the years we have been complaining about the fact the rate at which I point a man for into the various judicial system time. And most of them individuals are mobile, some have partisan colorization, the individuals with known ties to people in power, and a whole lot of this Nema Wayne and a bois. Emma public confidence and trust in the judiciary, no ethical form. Appointment now why and let me put it on record. Akufo-Addo is the president in the history of this country who appointed more judges than any other president in the history of this country. And individuals now, all the more seem to one way or the other have some kind of relationship. It may be real, it may be unreal. What I say politics, perception is very, very important because I didn't drive with the way a manner people see things. So whenever you think people are thinking a particular direction, and that direction, our propensity will be to affect the integrity of our judiciary. You need to tread cautiously. But caution is something that has been thrown to the dogs. Our president, I didn't find a caution in any dictionary, and he doesn't even care. Despite all the criticisms in some the fact is also judiciary now people have their reservations, people have their concerns about some individuals and appointments in the past. Some people are among for freezer. I've been I'm for my contesting on the ticket of the MPP in the past. I remember there was a particular judge from the Volta region appointed, and there were such rumors all over. And I'm a catch us a name away now affected the integrity of our judiciary. You've gotten to a point and against all, President is insisting on say a Chief Justice at the names about 4 people who must be appointed onto the judicial bench. You see, I am not interested in doing reactionary arguments. Say asam no ba na ya sori ni ye dede o say I have always advocated there is the need for us to cap our judiciary, because in America that is what they have done. The Supreme Court number of judges who can be appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court at a time now has been capped. I think it's either 9 or 10. Yes. And say unless obi be retirement and now obi be wuno, you cannot appoint any other person. By idea, no, there is no ceiling. So you can get any crazy president who will come and decide, say, Oba appointed 200 judges to the Supreme Court, 200 Supreme Court judges, and nobody can stop him because of that power. Constitution, granting, that unfettered authority to do such things. But such appointment now will come at your cost. We're going to pay for that. So the question is, instead of saying NDC press conference regarding this particular, I didn't push going forward, we need to cap the judiciary by making sure that Ghana is a small country. If a country like America can only accommodate less than 10 judges in the Supreme Court of the United States of America, a small country like Ghana, why do we need about 15, 18, 20 judges? We don't need them at the Supreme Court. This is the kind of conversation we need to have. Now, you cure some of these things, because in the future, we may even get a president who is far more worse than what Akufo-Addo is doing, and may decide to appoint over 100 judges to the Supreme Court because there is no cap, there is no ceiling. Yesterday, I was advocating for massive constitutional re-engineering going forward. Portions of our constitution, to me, have outlived its usefulness, and that there is the need for us to begin to amend this aspect. And one of such aspects has to do with the fact that we need to cap our judiciary, the Supreme Court, by making sure you need to go through a certain strict regulations. And sana obi wakudruho na yen limited number no. Sabaya, whoever becomes a Supreme Court judge will not be a sole discretion of a president who so wishes to pack the Supreme Court for whatever diabolical agenda be or be. We are sitting on a time bomb. Let us rise as people and we need to amend our constitution and put a cap on the judiciary by making sure after number 10, nobody can go on it again. 15, 10, 5, this is a conversation that we need to activate. And yes, sir, you see, we've been having this conversation in the past, depending on which political party is in power. And Akufo-Addo has demonstrated the possibility that in the future, we may get a crazy president who will come and appoint over 200 judges to the Supreme Court, and nobody can do a thing. We can only complain, but there will be no legal framework, be a certain emotion, a bit to me, I hinder that particular president from executing such dangerous, your friend is saying, optional, obey decided, so obey take, and that there is the need for us as people to ensure that we rise and get this thing done. That is the only way. And yes, trust me, we will continue to complain, and the integrity of our judiciary, will keep waning. It will be sinking to a point. It will have no relevance, no symbolic relevance to us. And people will be doing their own thing. And in recent times, we've seen that people have become wrong to themselves. People don't want to go to court because of several other reasons. And we don't need to add this because trust and confidence in the judiciary is everything. But when you have one president in the name of party politics pushing everybody into the Supreme Court because he knows things he's done are so there. So we had the SCD, he has his own fears, and there is the need to protect the future. Now, I'm not sure about that. And what he's doing is to appoint friendly people. You see, every single appointment here, President Abia seemed to be some kind of scandalous appointment. And in the past, so we hear some of the individual recently has to do with the Electoral Commission. And the conversation that it generated. Boss Manasare and several other people are to be known party activists. And then the recent one has to do with Dr. Piaget, who is known to be a TESCON officer in one of the campuses over the years, and communicating for the MPP and as for such a person with known party exposure individuals are put you into sensitive state institutions like the Electoral Commission. President Nayana being such as he doesn't even respect anybody at all to even pay attention. Being some more Kenyan woman as a Yansen, he wouldn't listen. And that is the dangerous course of action ye take as people, if we don't act and make sure we are able to weave legal remedy in resolving some of these things, and we continue to sit aloof and complain, say, oh, now why character like him doesn't care about Nema Akoso, say. That is the point that we need to get to and make sure we do the right thing. So the conversation in the coming days will be activated. But me say the bottom line is we need to put a cap on it. And you see, not just the judiciary alone. You see, over the years, I hear a recent appointment, a president here, putting up the largest size of government ever in the history of this country. And his government happens to be the worst performing government ever. The biggest government body I set it up in the history of this country has to do with the number of ministers that Kufuor appointed. And almost more papa bia abetwe oman no atetia pansam. So going forward, there is the need for, I understand the president with that discretion to appoint number of people in executing the mandate that has been given to him by the people. But we must also be very cautious in guiding some of these discretionary powers given to the president. Because my culture, we do this thing in the anticipation that whoever becomes president is wise, and for that reason the person will exercise positive discretion. But today we've gotten to a realm you can't be so sure about say nipa na obey president ni nyansani and so nyansani, because in recent times niama akoso mahubi some of the decisions and these are foolish decisions coming from stupid heads, but these are people at a strategic position taking sensitive position. So the thoughts are constitutional framers in assuming say whoever become president will be wise, will be moderate, will be circumspect in his dealing. And then we've gotten to a point that people who are becoming president are becoming viciously dangerous, and we cannot still stand on that assumption and presumption constitutional framers need to go on, and that there is the need for us to cap the number of ministers. Does it make sense for a country like Ghana to have more than 100 and over ministers? For what? And at the end of the day, expenditure, sika yes spending on government machinery in Kwano, eso change sika ya de infrastructure ewo kroma say, and these sika we nyina kwa manfo botomo mu kodi kwa. Go back and check budgetary allocation to the Flagstaff House over the years. Sometimes it may CD over 3 billion. Now besides say within the Flagstaff House, what at all are they doing there? Just job for the boys. Let's make the money available, share among ourselves. It ends there because we have instituted the largest size of government. That is crazy. That doesn't make sense. In America, we'll not set up such a large size of government, but we have it here because once you become president, you need to satisfy everybody. So even MacArthur said merit doesn't matter in our political dispensation. That is why in recent times you've seen a lot of idiots being given political portfolios, and when they come, they exhibit nothing but sincere stupidity and that kind of ignorance. and they back everything with arrogance. That is the realm we've got into. So there is the need for us to make sure, say, about 30 years, we have demonstrated sufficiently, say, so we cannot live and now rely on the discretion of people we entrust political power to. And that there is the need for us to build the consensus, now regulate, build a certain framework, say, and then we are capping our judiciary. Said the US for a year, or Supreme Court, then the number of ministers, we need to regulate and cap it. Sabaya, in the future, if any crazy person become president that has the temptation of appointing a larger set of government that will consume everything in the name of government expenditure, that problem will be solved once and for all. That is what I'm saying. We need a radical constitutional re-engineering that will change the fortunes of this country forever. And then this emolument, allowances, per diem, especially per diem. People deliberately travel and spend days because of per diem. Then as for some go with their spouses, and some of the laws are so convenient in such a way that even people they travel with become entitled to some of these things. I understand there are risks involved, but once you are being paid monthly, the shame say we had the risk you'll be taking in mind. So I see no reason why somebody is embarking on a trip to perform the duty that person is given per diem, when such monies are also paid in dollars. When people are more buying, I see you or more legitimately. No government says I don't have money, I can't pay you, and we are paying people double. Or they know the ordinary people will not have access to such cars. It's the same people, ministers, government appointees, parliamentarians, and so forth, are the sole beneficiaries of such goodies, and they are guarding and protecting it. Teacher ni better, you're entitled to per diem. Teacher ni better, nurse ni konya per diem, whatever. Always go back to the people at the corridors of power. That is why the massive constitutional re-engineering American must aimed at addressing all these loopholes. And your friend is a colonial mentality na yasate judge na yamane your friend saying cook, yamane garden boy, yamane security, yamane driver, and whole lot of nonsense. Aside that, the salary is not what the teacher need to compare. I understand the sensitivity of the job that people do now, but you see, we need to make sure that other jobs become attractive as well. The last time I was telling you, I ran to on social media and I say, oh, toilet, and I said, just imagine, obi or school toilet or be mine so financially or you're okay. Financially or you're okay. So do you need to stress yourself going up financially or no? Every say he's okay. That is how you build the country. So irrespective of baby will be finding who be the person will be able to feed from on one casa in sweat. But we live in a country where the resources of the country has been packaged and has been delivered to few greedy people in the name of being in higher position, when we know the whole essence of governance is providing for all, especially the vulnerable in society. That is why in the UK, the government and in America, they spend a fortune in ensuring that they provide a constant care for people who are vulnerable, who are mentally demented, people who are physically damaged, mentally incapacitated, and whole lot. There are a whole lot of package for these people because they are vulnerable. Why can't we do the same thing? We talk about leadership, we talk about governance. That is not what you're doing here. So this radical constitutional re-engineering I'm advocating must aim at addressing all these things by capping. And again, then say a certain conversation that was activated and about electoral commission and going into election. That possibility may come. Even if it doesn't come after election, it will come. New constituencies. Say Ghana have over 275 constituencies, parliament large size. I don't know exactly what they're doing apart from say young NDC and MPP issue, but people will not even do constructive analysis. look at the issues critically and give us your friend saying the way the ordinary Ghanaian no ne ho behin han no quite recently what they say yes here the VAT ever to electricity. So Parliament agreed and approved the bill. Until later, na president who agitation going on social media and as a forum and but the people who are supposed to be our representative went there and there is the need for us to cap these institutions by making sure say any crazy president will not come and take discretion into his heart and decide to do things I will not free say right. Because apart from job for the boys, compensating people and whole lot, because maybe at the dying days of this government, look at the time president is pushing people to go to parliament for approval as deputy ministers and as a forum when we've been complaining about large size of government. So I think if we are calling for massive constitutional re-engineering, these are some of the radical initiatives that we need to implement. And a bit me and run a catch about as Gracia. Why are it making no sense? Yes, the current Speaker of Parliament, Babin Ababon Tiambaka said here, and it's quite interesting. Say, or no, what Parliament for about 30 something years. Waji as Gracia, Nadia, and then what did you obey we know? I feel the one who said as Gracia near floor. That's fine. That is the hypocrisy in Ghana for Sana Yatia. I feel the one. Until the newcomers and also definitely are going to resist and fight this because my country say we dear retirement in Adri and so on and I would so that particular way will definitely come by me. I always say it doesn't make no sense and motivating a huge disincentive for other people in other areas because you see in nation building it takes a collective effort of all, whether men run a make sure whether nipani a mason or ya cra or ya penny or ya or dog or ya driver or ya deben, it takes the collective effort of us all are you working to partner each other and then one me a mind elsewhere here we cannot run a country and leave people behind. If we go, they will draw us back. Is the reason why I say you're holding your hands together and making sure that if moving forward, we move together. We leave no mind behind. Just like those in American military, when they go to war, say leave no mind behind. Even more dead bodies must be recovered and sent home. That should be a total approach. I see your mind. Now I see I set it up. A Christmas, the whole governance and the leadership, a Christmas for few people because they're enjoying, and the vast majority will continue to suffer. What is the big policy for young people in this country? Look at the rate of unemployment in Ghana. Look at the suffering masses in Ghana for, and then the way in Suto Accra from Manapakusi and Yumre. Trust me, people couldn't go to work. Shops were closed. Because your sewage system never and block it. Don't forget, the World Bank Maisika at the Master Cecilia that pass or make it Accra the cleanest city. We are not going passing and I'm crew have a campus, 7 classes, 7 Ghana for. As 7 call special prosecutor honor. A foolish case. Gutters in the team. And then so we MPP ni, we NDC ni, gutters na choky. And then a car and so air farm for vehicles. And so to Accra be any pirate motorway now man for cars air top. People are dying because Sikana is a puntu jumano kwabrane paki guni them. And Parliament as an institution to call on these people say Sikana yedema no come and tell us what you use that particular money for no. Nobody's willing because it could do why a ban and these them people are your hunter kwana foolish case. So the person who took the money goes scot free. How can we be so stupid? And we sit here and say, God should come to our aid. We are crazy, I'm telling you, because God, any time for Nipo Mundim Nyansa, I keep telling people, your destiny is in our own hands. The early we realize this, the better for us. And yes, we will continue wallowing at the trenches forever. And there will be no redemptive alternative for us aside change. If we refuse to change, if we refuse to refill our head with wisdom and the need for us to work together and put this particular country on a working pedestal, trust me, we will fucking get nowhere. It takes a great deal of pain to be saying all these things, because you see, say ukrom na nsuo beto. Yes, and so flooding see quite recent in New York, and so toy one I think say So we have a duty as people by making sure say the narrative must change. And yes, people may decide, oh, Ghana, let me travel. Let me say, running away. And I say, being away from what is happening here doesn't solve the problem. It will not make the problem go away. However,